Hello, everyone. This is Stefan Bowden. Welcome to episode 14 of the Flow University YouTube channel. Originally, this episode was going to be focusing on a different aspect of fitness. I was going to divulge to you guys each of the different spheres of fitness. But in today's episode, I decided to do something a little bit different for you guys. In today's episode, I will be discussing the future of fitness. As in modern times, the individual has been robbed of their sovereignty and their power, and we have been programmed and conditioned to behave and act in certain manners. And fitness, if approached from the right perspective, and if the more broader understanding of fitness is given to the individual, then this tool, this mechanism can be used by you to work and improve and develop yourself endlessly. Within modern society, we have de-evolved in our connectivity in amongst ourselves within everyday life. And the individual has dived into the world of tribalism, which has pervaded our species since the days when we were nothing but cavemen. This framework of thinking by us as human beings has led to inner conflict within industries and spheres. Most importantly, the fitness industry. And within the warring that is going on within the fitness industry, this has led to factionations and differing viewpoints and the tribalistic nature of fitness being fractured. For the consumer and the everyday individual, this has led to situations where they do not know where to get fitness information. They do not understand what they should be doing, what they should not be doing. And this has led to many individuals going down a multitude of pathways where they may or where they may not attain their success within their fitness journey. This is one of the main reasons why I began this channel and why I am so passionate about fitness. It is not necessarily about doing workouts and exercises and the healthy eating. It is about the growth and the development that can happen from which you can truly begin to see yourself and know thyself as a human being. And this is one of the detrimental things that has pervaded within modern society. The average individual do not know themselves. And because there is this unknowing, there is a projection based out onto others from the programming that has happened within modern society, and from that which has happened within, they project without. And so each and every person immediately gives to other people simple identifications. And when this happens, you miss the inherent uniqueness that is within yourself, and you come to certain conclusions and certain viewpoints, and from which you believe that you are this way, and you believe that this is how things are, and then you become set in stone. And from this, no progression, no progress, no evolution can occur. But you can always progress, you can always evolve, you can always reach that next level, you can always ascend. But you can only do so when you understand the deep truth that is within yourself, and that is internal. Do not allow your subconscious to be hacked and see through the thick veil that has been cast over your eyes within modern society. In today's episode, I will be focusing more so on what the fitness industry can do and potentially what the future of fitness will look like for the individual as well as the industry. This is extremely important as right now human understanding is fractured within different industries. And because we as humans have gone down our different roadways in trying to get to the root of things and get to the root of knowledge within our curiosity, we must now begin to come together. And when these different industries begin to come together, this will lead to a birth and an innovation from which we will be able to engage with these different realms of knowledge into truly progressing and developing ourselves, which is the point of why we as humans even began to acquire and seek knowledge in the first place. Knowledge just for knowledge's sake is extremely irrelevant, but knowledge when used as its intended purpose, now it can become something more flourishing and something more of fruit. So I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode of the Flow University YouTube channel. Let's get started. There's no better teacher than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance the next time. Malcolm X. With everyone super, no one will be. Syndrome from The Incredibles. A lot of individuals will hear that last quote and they'll immediately be like, oh, he's bringing up Disney movies and haha, that's funny. But a lot of times the truths about life, the biggest lessons comes from childhood. And even before then, back into the childhood of us as a species, as human beings. Going into key number one, what I foresee within the future of the fitness industry is unity, specifically the end of tribalism. When we as human beings were living in caves as cavemen, and going even further when we had villages, there was wars going on and tribes would compete against each other for resources, but more specifically to survive. And the purpose of this was that we as humans didn't see that if we all came together, we could all survive. We had small scopes of what the world was. There wasn't a enlarged perspective. We didn't understand the full scope, the full sphere of what the earth actually was. But over time, we as humans, through many wars, many trials, and many tribulations, we came to an understanding that we all could eat. We all could have flourishing, and we all could have longevity. And within modern society, this truth has been forgotten, not from a resource perspective, but from a knowledge perspective and from the perspective of growth and development. Specifically within the fitness industry, what the modern individual will see is that there is a lot of feuding going on within the different tribes within the fitness industry. And what has happened is that certain individuals have gone off and they have ventured out of the village to learn the truth out of curiosity about different things and different inclinations. And they have discovered things. But the problem is that they then prescribe to this viewpoint. They then prescribe to this level of understanding, and there is no connecting the dots. This is very rare within the fitness industry, and this is even rare within human society, that individuals are willing to let go of their current perspective and pour out their cup so that new information can be gained and new levels of understanding can come within them. And so for the average everyday individual, when they go within the fitness industry, what they see is they see a lot of information, but there is no connecting of the dots. They do not understand the full scope of exactly what is going on. And so they'll see the keto diet people, they'll see the vegetarians, they'll see the vegans, they'll see the powerlifters, the Olympic weightlifters, they'll see the individuals that prescribe to a certain way of recovery, a certain way of training, a certain way of viewing fitness within this manner. And so what the fitness industry must do is the fitness industry must completely come together, and the coming together must be in the basic understanding of why most humans engage with fitness. Most humans engage with fitness simply because they want to work on, develop, and improve themselves. What happens when most people want to go into a gym or they even want to begin working out is that they feel as though they are not at an adequate level and they want to improve and get to a better level from which they were previously at. And so what happens is that we as humans, because of our ego, we go down and we've done these things and we've ventured off and we have gained these levels of understanding. And so our ego wants to hold on to these things. And we want to say we're right because we've climbed the mountain, but we have to understand that other people have climbed that mountain as well, and they have their different perspective, they have their realm of knowledge, and they have their level of understanding. So what must happen within the fitness industry is there must be a full coming together instead of the fractionalization that has happened. And this is to the enhancement of us as a species, because when you understand the different areas of fitness, when you understand the different areas of training, nutrition, recovery, biohacking, community, and the psychosocial effects of society, and what goes on within the neuroscience fields, what goes on within the different medical fields, what's going on within really wellness, what's going on within different movement communities, and what's going on with what's going on in pharmaceuticals. What this will do for the individual is this will help the individual in engaging with fitness in its first intended purpose, but also it'll help you and protect you. So there's a protection component to it, as well as a level of understanding will allow you to engage with it at a higher level. But when individuals subscribe to certain viewpoints, then they believe that they should be doing things within a certain manner. But when there's a full coming together, now this can broaden their perspective, and now this can end some of the misunderstanding that might be going on within the community. There's no reason why there should be so many individuals. There's tons of podcasts. There's tons of people coming out with information. But what it will end is it'll end the unconscious awareness of the average everyday person. But when most people look at fitness as this conglomerate of a bunch of different viewpoints and bunch of different perspectives, and they are never able to step into it because they don't understand exactly what there is to do. So when the fitness industry fully comes together and there is unity, then this will lead to people being able to step within the industry with more ease and more comfort and more assurance. When people view the technology industry, or they view the medical industry, or they view some of these other industries, there's a more everyday understanding of, they know what to expect. They know exactly what they're going to get. You walk into a doctor's office, all right, this is a doctor's office, even though not keeping it within the box, but they understand, like, all right, I know what's going on here. When they walk into a grocery store, they know what a grocery store is. So it's coming together as an industry and letting people know we got the key number 2, what I foresee within the fitness industry is a combination with technology. Technology has been on the rise. Technology is always advancing, improving, and progressing. And so you've already seen this within the fitness industry, is that there's been a connection with technology. We're using technology to help us to track our vitals. We're using technology to enhance our training. We're using technology even to help us to understand what's going on within nutrition. And I see this just becoming more, and I see this happening more and more. We'll combine with technology. This will lead to more innovation. This will lead to more things being made to help the everyday person and even athletes with improving their performance, improving their fitness, and understanding exactly if anything's of alarm, if anything isn't right. There's so much technology that is out even right now that can help you out. If you have an Apple Watch, it tracks your heart rate, it tracks your steps, it can even track your blood pressure. And I foresee in the future it coming out with things to track how many breaths you're taking in a day, what's your stroke volume, what's your current, like how deep you can breathe, your lung capacity, your VO2 max, these types of things to help the person truly understand where they're at. And to even, I believe it will get to the point where there'll be technologies that will come out that will give people certain processes to get to certain levels within fitness. So if you want to improve your cardiovascular fitness, there will be a way for you to improve. So I believe AI will play a pivotal role in this, in helping humans to understand how to exactly evolve to that next level in terms of athletic performance, even not just in terms of the physical realm, but in the mental realm, in improving mental function and capacity and cognitive abilities. I believe that this will aid us, and that's what I personally foresee happening in the future, us combining with tech. Going into key number 3, self-efficiency. Now, if we as humans are always growing and progressing, and our level of knowledge and the baseline level of it stays the same, at least on a foundational level, what I foresee humans learning more about fitness and learning more about biohacking and these things earlier in life. So most people don't get serious about their health and their wellness till they're about in their mid-20s, early 30s, but I see this happening even earlier. I see this happening almost close to like elementary school and even getting into middle school. I see us as humans in the future, us from the time we're born, just being all and fully invested in our health and our wellness. Every single year, every single generation, the lifespan of us as human beings continually rises. I see this continuing, but I also seeing this becoming even the expansion of it in the rate of it going exponentially higher, simply because the more you understand earlier in life, the more like you are to adhere to certain things and certain norms and certain ways of living. And so if we are taught this early in life, we are more likely to subscribe to it. It's just like tying your shoe and the way you dress. When you are taught how to tie your shoe, you will probably tie your shoe that exact same way for the rest of your life. Same way with getting dressed. You will probably dress the exact same way unless you do or undergo a serious self-development journey. You will probably do the exact same thing. So if we are given proper protocols from the time we're young about how to maximize our health and our wellness and improve our fitness, then essentially the sky is the limit for potential human lifespan, longevity, even vitality. I see in the future us being able to, doctors and medical professionals will be very important. They will still play prominent roles, but I foresee the necessity and the need for such things to diminish as our understanding as humans increase within these spheres. And we as humans, we're always looking to evolve, we're always looking to reach that next level, and we will definitely be seeing a growth because social media and the opening of knowledge to all of us, it is essentially up to the individual to simply step into those realms and learn this information that will lead to a broadening of self-sufficiency among us human beings. Going into key number 4, what I foresee in the future for us as human beings is biohacking. This is going to be extremely important to us as human beings. And going back to the previous key, self-efficiency, if you understand biohacking on an individual level, this will give you it will essentially give you the keys to not just a long life, but a high quality life as well. You will not have to worry about spending long hours in doctor's offices or wasting money seeing physical therapists or even having to deal with a trainer or fitness communities. When you go, or if you want to subscribe to a fitness community or you want to see a trainer, it will be purely off of the connection that you are trying to form with these individuals or some of the more nuanced knowledge basis that you're trying to dive into, but it won't be simply for the purpose of engaging in exercise. You'll already have that down pat. So biohacking for us as human beings and our understanding of it will be very impactful. And I see this just becoming more understood, and not even more understood. I see the average everyday person engaging with this because essentially you as a human, you're already engaging with biohacking even right now as we speak. But most people believe that biohacking only occurs when you are going in a positive direction, but it also occurs when you're going in a negative direction. You're always going in one of two directions. You're either going in the direction of growth, development, and improvement, or you're going in the direction of stagnation, being sedentary, and de-evolution. And so that's what you see in the movie WALL-E, the Disney movie WALL-E. You see humans, when WALL-E goes up into the spaceship, you see it gets to the point where essentially humans devolve to the point where they can't even walk on their own 2 feet. They essentially are sitting in chairs and they have to just drink fluid to survive. And there's nothing going on but mindless entertainment within their minds. And so, yes, that is a form of biohacking. You essentially have hacked your DNA and it has evolved to you, the environment you have set it into. So that's all you're doing. You're placing your body in a specific environment, and your body will evolve to, or adapt. I apologize. Your body will adapt to the environment you have placed it in. And so how much sleep, recovery, your nutrition, what are you doing in terms of your training? This all plays pivotal factors, but even deeper than that, how much are you engaging with technology? Are you looking at screens all day? How much do you read? How much do you listen? Are you engaging in social interactions? Are you alone all the time? This is very important. If you understand these things and you are consciously placing your hand on the wheel and steering where you are going, then you'll be able to improve and change some of the things that are going on. But if you do not, then essentially you are at the mercy of what society is doing to you. So essentially the ball's in your court. Do you want society to be your master? And do you want the values of society to dictate your internal factors and your driving internal factors? Or do you want to dictate what's going on? And I have to be very honest with you guys. Society is a collective. Society only cares about the growth, survival, and sustainability of the species. So society cares about the collective. Society doesn't necessarily care about the individual. Communities care about the individual. The family cares about the individual. You care about you, the individual. But society is focused on the collective. And when you understand this, and even society exists within a pocket. So there's multiple societies, even within the global societies of us as human beings. So what I mean by pocket societies is like people who live in the 1%, people who are poor, people who would be considered middle class. Then it would go into nationalism. So you have America, you have Mexico, you have Canada, then you have Russia, you have Ukraine, you have those, like, that's why I would say like pocket societies, and then you have the global society. So when you understand this, you're just like, okay, what is the society trying to program me and trying to hack my biology and get me to act as? What do I need to act in such a manner to get to a area of progression, improvement, and growth, longevity, and high quality? And what is the middle ground that is keeping me from doing so? So discover those things, and you'll be able to hack not just your biology, but also your psychology, and you'll be able to have some spiritual prowess. And this goes into the final key in which I foresee going on into the future of fitness is the rise of fit communities. Now, once the entire fitness community has come together in unity, and we have ended the tribalism, which has led to human egos going off the walls and people subscribing to their niche and believing their niche is the answer to all things, or there's a certain diet, or there's a certain group, or there's a certain way of being. And there's a central understanding that we're all doing the same thing. And we come together in that simple understanding. Then what will happen is that we will combine with the different industries, namely tech. We will combine with the medical and the health worlds, and even finances and business. And from there, we'll be able to be seen as a legitimate industry and not a bunch of pseudo bro science. And from there, what will happen is more humans will become self-efficient, because we will give people the central, broader understanding of what fitness is. And then from there, people will be able to biohack on an individual basis and not allow society to program them. People and humans will be able to program themselves. But this is essentially the grand crucial of fitness. The grand crucial of fitness is that you will now become a conscious being. that is able to choose how they want to operate and navigate within this life. You will not have to sit back and be told how to act and operate and be. You will simply be, do, and become. But you can't truly become and be if you're simply told. That is a slave mentality. That is a victim mentality. That is a mentality where you have no power. You have no sovereignty. And so if you want these things, then you must choose to be. But you can only be if you become conscious. And so that's essentially what fitness should be. But in the fitness industry, it is almost like religion. So in different religions, they tell you truth, like this is truth. But what they do is they bottleneck truth up into certain spheres and certain viewpoints. And so they then give this and deliver this to you and says, this is truth. This is how you should operate. This is the way the world is. But that is only one small aspect of it. There's so much more that's there. And so this the same thing goes with fitness. Fitness is so much more, but when you understand the full scope, this is what will give you self-efficiency. And then you're able to choose the different road. And so this is what the rise of fitness communities will be, is that instead of it being a indoctrination camp or place where you have to subscribe to the group's norms, the group's viewpoints, and the group's opinions, and it being almost like a cult, it will now become a place where people are all doing the same thing and we're all trying to grow and progress and develop ourselves. So now when people go into the gym, what will happen is that instead of going to the gym and it feels as though people are judging and demeaning you and criticizing you, what people will do is they'll respect and honor you because they will just see you as the being you are. And they'll see that you're just trying to grow and develop yourself. And they will have a central respect for you. And their ego will not be getting the best of them. People, what you see now in the fitness industry, it is nothing but the appeasement of the ego. There is no internal growth and development that is occurring. Most people in the fitness industry in today's society, all they care about is how people look. And then if you get into the latter stages of the fitness industry, they might care about what's going on with your internal organs and some of the internal functions and systems of the body. But that is to improve and to increase the longevity of their life. It has nothing to do about growth and development, which there's nothing wrong with these things. You can gain confidence by improving your body. You can gain assuredness by knowing you're going to have a nice long life. But what happens is that we then have our viewpoints. We project our viewpoints out on the world, and anyone that doesn't subscribe to our viewpoint, they're seen as other. They're seen as an adversary. They're seen as the enemy. And going back to the quote at the beginning by Malcolm X, when this happens, you then cast hate onto this person. That is really what hate comes from. Hate comes from seeing people as separate from you. And when you see someone as separate from you, then you do not see the likeness of you, and then you reject that person. And when there's a rejection, there is disgust, there is hate, and there is a chastisement. So this is what's going on in the fitness industry. And so when this subsides and the birth of a new day within the fitness industry happens, then when people engage with fitness and people go into gyms and people decide to sign up and subscribe to these things, it will be more of a flourishing adventure instead of a chaotic dissension into hell. Most people, when they go into fitness, it's a dissension. They hate fitness. But a new day will happen where people are going on an adventure into fitness instead of it being this chaotic experience for them. This is one of the main reasons why I'm so passionate about fitness. And this is one of the main reasons why I continue to make these episodes. And I will continue to make these episodes because like many things that are within society, it is inverted. So the proper understanding of fitness is understood by the individual, and then when they're introduced to fitness, the wrong depiction of fitness is given to them instead of the right depiction of fitness. And so over time, as we as humans begin to learn more and more, as we begin to progress and become more and more, we will evolve, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. And as we evolve within these three planes, and emotionally as well, there's 4 planes of existence. So when we evolve within all 4 realms, then our understanding of some of the tools we have been using to aid us will evolve as well. And we will engage with those tools differently. For example, transportation. Transportation is a tool. And we as humans, we have used many different things as transportation. We've used our feet. We've used boats, animals. Now we use cars, but who knows? In the future, we might come up with a new way of transportation as our evolution and our understanding evolves about what transportation is. Like Einstein, the theory of relativity. It will continue to evolve as our understanding grows and progresses. So fitness must grow and evolve as our understanding of it broadens. And this is what will happen within the fitness industry in the future, because at a certain point, everyone will know what a squat is. Everyone will know what a lunge is. Everyone will know how to walk properly. Everyone will know at least the bare minimum basics of proper nutrition, proper sleep habits. But what will happen is now, instead of us being on the backside taking in information, we'll be on the front end using it as it's intended to be used. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode of the Flow University YouTube channel. I want you guys to continue to have an air of curiosity about you, to continue to have a inquisitiveness about the world and about what's going on. There's too many people that they watch the world on TV, but they don't engage with the world. And that's what you must begin to do. That's why you're here as a human being. Yes, you're here to know and to gain knowing and to gain insight and depth, but you're also here to experience. And there's too many humans right now that they're using these black boxes as a middleman for experience. Stop watching other humans experience and go experience. And you don't need anything to experience the things you want to experience. Money, yes, money can give you certain tools and provide certain ways for you to get in places where you can have the experiences, but experience in and of itself can happen right now. You can literally get up and go outside. That's an experience. Joy. You don't have to purchase anything, or you don't have to do really anything to experience joy, love, peace, gratitude, hope. What I've been saying today, unity, the coming together, self-efficiency. You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on programs, courses, and hiring mentors and teachers. Yes, you want to learn from people, but a lot of times the simplistic answer is right at your feet. Everyone knows: drink water, get enough sleep, eat unprocessed foods, work out a couple minutes during the day, your posture. But we as humans, we continue to put things off. What goes on in modern society is the greatest procrastination stint ever. That's essentially what's going on as we as humans. We're procrastinating the inevitable. Stop putting it off. Begin to work on and improve yourself. I know if you guys have seen the movie Hercules, in the beginning, there's the woman who's singing, but at a certain point, there's the three fates. It's the past, the present, and the future. And they're holding strings of other human beings. And what are they doing? They're snapping them. Done, done, done. This is your life. This is what you're subscribing to. What program, what channel are you subscribing to? You can change it. You don't have to submit to the channel that has been playing. You can change the channel. Guys, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Whatever is coming within, that is what you're going to project out. And also, that's how the internal will operate. The reason we humans have eyes is so that we can begin to visualize and begin to have representations and symbols of what the outer world is like. And so if you're putting in to the internal world subtleties and suggestions and influences that is portraying the outer world that you do not want, then stop doing that. Put within what you want to look on the outside. And this even goes for what are you listening to? The frequency, the vibration, the energy of the music, and even the speech patterns of individuals. This will impact how you operate. There's a reason why people say you become the average of the 5 people who you surround yourself the most with. Why? Because you're picking up on subtleties. Guys, body language accounts for almost 80% of communication. The only thing that's happening when you're speaking is just air is just leaving the lungs and coming out of your mouth. That's all that's happening. And you're having some muscle contractions in your face. That's it. The real beauty is when you take a step back and you see how is that human working. That's when you really see what's going on. You can almost feel a person's energy off of that. And so this is for you guys to begin to step into a new day, step into destiny, a dawn. 2024 is a year of choices. This is a pivotal year. I would say it's a pivotal year, not just in America, but in society at large and even the human species. It's very pivotal for us because we're on the edge of going off the road, missing the mark, and allowing the lower aspects of our nature and the aspects of non-human entities to influence us into operating in certain ways. Or we can step into our destiny and retake that sovereignty and that control and go back to the fundamentals, ground ourselves, and then see, oh, we've been way off. Let us steer this ship back on course. We as humans, we were going in a beautiful direction, but something has disrupted our spirit. And so perhaps this can be corrected. And fitness aids in this. It can help us. But we as humans, it's almost shocking to see people running out on the street. It's shocking to see people engage in consistent exercise. This shouldn't be a shock to anyone. It should be something that is just simply acknowledged and understood. But this must change. If you look at photographs from people in the 1960s and 50s, they were more gruff, they were more robust, they were a little harder. Yes, life in and of itself was harder, but also we as humans had a deeper understanding of just what physical activity was and what it meant to us. Guys, I worked at a weight loss camp for kids. And it wasn't just a weight loss camp. It was a technology limiting prevention camp. So it was like if kids were addicted to technology, they would take the technology from them. They couldn't engage with technology. And I lied to you not, this was probably one of the most impactful experiences of my life. Why? Because throughout the entire, I think it was 6, 7, 8 weeks I was there, it was nothing but human connection. That's all it was. Human connection, physical activity, proper eating, and a good time and positive energy. And what I saw was I witnessed transformation. I witnessed such growth within each and every, not just the kids, but also in the counselors and within myself as well. And a central common understanding of what it meant to be human. And we as humans, that's what we need. We need that central common understanding as humans. But that can't happen if we're continually cut off from operating what is intrinsic to our nature. Now, I understand being in tribalism, having different sides, like we're humans, but at least we can have common respect and we can come to each other and we can engage and provide and exchange. I hope you guys have found this episode of value. Make sure you click like, click subscribe. I will be continuing to release episodes on a weekly basis. You all enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed.